is, and the Tigers led out by their skipper Mark O'Neill, 209th game today. And coming off the bye, the Tigers beaten here in round one by Parramatta, a game that they led at half-time. But also a ground they've won only on 2 occasions, 2 of 8. Have they won matches against all opposition here at Telstra Stadium.
Well, just one change for the Dogs, 17, beaten by the Cowboys in round 2. At fullback, Luke Patton; on the wings, Hazem El Masri and Matt Utai. The centre pairing, Jamal Lalisi and Willie Tonga. The halves, Braithen Astor at 5'8", Brent Sherwin is the halfback. A back row of Tony Grimaldi, Sonny Bill Williams in the run on side this week, next to his captain, Andrew Ryan. And up front, in the front row, Chris Armott, Adam Perry and Roy Asatasi. Their interchange, Corey Hughes and Ben Shalosky. Nate Miles and Adam Bryson in jersey 17, coached by Steve Folkes. Steve has taken the Dogs to grand finals on 2 occasions, a loss in 98, of course the crown last year, 63% his winning percentage. Tim Sheen's the longest serving coach in the game's history. He's close to 500 games and a good percentage.
Here's the Tigers lineup. At fullback is Hodgson, Fitzhenry and Richards are on the wing. In the centres we have Dean Halatau and Paul Fadawira. Benji Marshall comes back for the Tigers today. They're all looking for him. His partner Scott Prince in the halves. In the back row we have Liam Fulton, Mark O'Neill and Chris Hyington. In the front row, John Skandalis, Todd Payton, Ben Galier's going to play hooker today. And on the bench, Robbie Farah and John Wilson, Bronson Harrison and Bryce Gibbs. They're coached by Tim Sheens.
Paul Simpkins has charge of this round 3 battle.
All right, boys. Stay on side.
Teams level on 2 competition points. Underway at Telstra. High kick-off from Braithen Astor. And down for Todd Payton to almost get back to the 20-metre line.
Here it is, boys. Hold 10.
And 3 in the first tackle of the day for the Doggies. Galier and Mark O'Neill taken front on there by Ryan and Perry. And it's an untidy play, the ball. But the Tigers earned the penalty.
Good play, you played it. Go to the side.
He planted the ball down, but wasn't able to get the foot to it because of the traffic there of the 2 Bulldogs defenders. And Scotty Prince it is who will advance the ball up close to halfway. So an early leg up for the Tigers to get into an attacking position. Prince. And on with Skandalis to halfway. Swung the ground there in the Williams tackle. Only half Galier. And O'Neill has put it down and then bumped down for his troubles by Williams.
Movement now.
It was a body check front on. He'd already lost possession, O'Neill. So the Bulldogs come up with it as Asatasi. And this time the Tigers 3 in the tackle. As Payton did a bit of lifting with the captain. To the left they work with Ryan. He's 40 metres away from the Tigers line. Their first possession of the match, the Bulldogs. Asatasi passes along, Grimaldi had to gather it in, then ran around the back of Williams. No interference though on the defence coming through. Head to head, the Tigers have won 3 of 9. Only the second time these 2 clubs have clashed at Telstra. Perry, 32 metres from the line, and Astor. They're in motion now left, and Ryan probing there and running at the Tigers 5'8" Marshall. 18 metres from the line, last tackle, and Astor kicked. Some of the outside men looked maybe a shade offside. Play on with El Masri. He's lost the ball. And the Tigers are in possession with Fitzhenry.
No advantage there, change over here.
And so the changeover will happen on the 10-metre line. And the Tigers will work their way to trouble with Skandalis.
Movement. Go.
And now handy metres from Galier. He's been told he will be the first choice number 9. Sideline this afternoon with the chief, Paul Harrigan. Good afternoon.
Absolutely fantastic conditions down here. Hardly a breath of air, around about 24 degrees. I think it's interesting, both these teams carrying a very young bench. Now, I think it's going to be a bigger test for the Bulldogs here. Last year, remember, they had a great bench. Roy Asatasi, Sonny Bill Williams, Rennie Matua had come on. But this year, apart from Corey Hughes, they're just babies. Now, likewise, the Tigers, they're in the same boat. But I just think if they can hang in there for this first 20 minutes, when the first set of interchanges come on, this young Tigers bench can make a few inroads.
Bind in seconds.
If they are going to hang in for the first 20 minutes, as we have a look at that young bench, they're going to have to use better ball control. 2 efforts out of their own half, and they've made mistakes both times. Willie Tonga forced towards the sideline. Good tackle there by Pat Richards.
Walk forward.
The word it was, he's got the footwork and he's got the Fen Tonga and his armoury. Now here's Utai. Looking to make up for a disappointing last match. Wasn't his best night against the Cowboys. Forward they come with Ahmed. Plenty of force in the tackle. First there was Payton with O'Neill and finished off by Scandalis. Dogs have got themselves in the zone. Sherwin's floating pass. Grimaldi and on for Williams. Stepped inside and offloaded in the Prince tackle. This is Lalisi. He's 19 metres from the line and Galir there in defence for the Tigers. Their best scoring chance to date for the Bulldogs. Sherwin, flat ball, has the attack coming through and Patton back on the inside comes up with a 4-pointer. Lovely work through the middle by the Bulldogs. Perry involved there. And the number one, the General, scores the try for the Bulldogs.
And so often the Bulldogs look for the second man play when they go to the line. They expect the ball to go behind the support players. We freeze it there. The Tigers are actually looking at that man to get the football, and it's Perry who gets the football in a gap off a great ball and into open space. This is a very difficult take also from Luke Patton. Didn't have much time to react to that one. The ball came very quickly. He's taken it well. Played every game for them last season. And he started off this season in good form as well.
Yeah, if you're going to trouble the Bulldogs, you've got to dominate possession, and the Tigers have turned 2 over cheaply. In their first 3 sets of 6, they invited the Bulldogs into attacking zone, and the Premiers show you exactly what they can do at the quality end of the field.
Well, Masbury will make it 6. 6-0 in 9 Sunday football here. Paul Harrigan's sideline.
You can just tell with the Bulldogs, when they played their first game against the Dragons, the first half, you can just tell they're on. They're aggressive. Braithen Nasta, he plays his best when he's playing aggressive football. And the fact that, you know, the Tigers are going to make a few mistakes early, they're really got to switch on. Bulldogs are on today.
Richard restarts in this floating kick. And Azatazi has the job, and there are 3 and 4 Tigers waiting, and they win that battle. Azatazi back to the 10.
Mark a square.
He got within a stride of the 20. And then they had him in the shopping trolley. Williams, the second offload for the match. Sherwin, plenty of adventure in this attack from the Bulldogs inside their 20. Bounced into the arms of Tonga. And still they are 10 metres out. Utai got away from Richards, got away from another, gets those little legs moving. Utai is over halfway. He beat 3 in the run. 45 metres away from the Tigers line. Good sign for the Bulldogs left winger. Sherwin, cut out ball, missed 2 with it. Found Williams, flicks it inside. Lalisi, he will go to the corner, and the Bulldogs are over again. This is slick. This is a tremendous start from the Premiers.
Side-to-side stuff, and it all started with Sonny Bill Williams offloading at the other end of the field. He attracted 3 defenders, and that opened up an overlap on the far side. Matt Utai then took advantage with a long run, and then with a good line set, they come right. Cut-out pass. It comes to Sonny Bill. As we freeze it there, you can see this player coming across just doesn't have the speed to cover up the inside pass, and as play continues, the flick ball, Jamal Lalisi, still underrated, I have to say. Lalisi gets across the line very consistently.
Asmail Masri, rather, whose only misses this season have been from this touchline. And his first one today, he's got it on target. Hassan has done it. And it is 12-0 in 9 Sunday footy. 8 minutes gone here at Telstra Stadium. And the Tigers find themselves down by 12. And Patton with an awkward-looking trap from the kick-off.
Mark a square.
And ended up having to just dive on the ball 8 metres out. Azatazi has been busy early and also very damaging. He was player's player back in round 1. Ryan running an angle back in field. Payton was there with Hallertau. Now Patton takes off from dummy half.
Move.
And almost back to the 40-metre line. O'Neill there in defence. Perry. Sherwin kicking from inside the 40. Going back on the fingertips. Fitzhenry did well. And Daniel Fitzhenry has Hodgson there in support. Decides to straighten. And Williams there with a tackle. Now Hodgson loses the ball on the Williams tackle. It'll be a scrum feed 35 metres out from the Tigers line.
This is the thing you like about Sonny Bill Williams. Not only does he do the clever things and the things that stand out in attack, he does the little things, the hard things well. also. He'll chase on a kick and then work hard from marker on the next play. That time he forces the error from Hodgson.
Ball in, out.
They are set left with an Asta. And then that little skip from Tonga.
One, movement.
How he has progressed since about mid-season last year.
Come on, Todd, make it here.
And Asta left with Ahmed. And that time they lock up the ball. Scandalis there with O'Neill. But the Bulldogs are 25 metres out with 4 tackles up their sleeves. Sherwin inside for Azatazi. And that's better defence from the Tigers. Tackle round the midriff there by Payton. They work a short side play. Anasta finding Ryan. He almost got past Marshall. He will play it 11 metres out from the line. Threatening to post a third try here, the Bulldogs. Anasta's kick is intercepted.
One now, movement.
There was plenty of strength on the kick, but it was the hooker Galea who just snaffled it out of midair.
Well, let's just have a look how the West Tigers work the football out on this occasion. 3 times so far, 3 times mistakes before they've got to the kick. Now got John Scandalis forcing the pass. Football suicide.
Well, he's going to rule a knock on here against the Bulldogs, I think you'll find.
But it's still ridiculous play, isn't it? Here's the Bulldogs bench warming up. Things will be going fairly cruisy by the time they get out there looking at this opening stanza. But Scandalis, really the pass wasn't on. It actually was knocked on by Lalesi there.
Come together.
A let off there for the Tigers. They've got to control the ball better than that.
So the scrum, 29 metres out from the West Tigers line, and Prince deciding to bring his man back inside Fatawira, back to where the scrum had formed. And the forwards who break from the scrum were really relishing that. Hodgson's pass on the bounce. Richards, I think you call that a goose step. He would have done them back to back. He's able to offload. Hodgson over the Tigers 40. That's their fullback. And the tackle made by Ahmed. Galea. Bulldogs up by 12 points to nil. Scandalis is flipped over in the tackle by Azatazi. Looked quite spectacular. Nothing illegal about it. Marshall. His first touch, it hit the legs of the support. It was Hyington who couldn't gather it in. And another error by the West Tigers. And the Bulldogs are back in possession. And now Hyington compounds that problem by conceding a penalty.
John Scandalis hitting the ball up here. He's going to be cartwheeled in the tackle there by Roy Azatazi. I think he contributed to him himself. Wasn't a bad ball there from Benji Marshall, but the player running through didn't expect it, and not what they needed at this stage.
Dominant 1. Mark it square.
Bulldogs on tackle 1. 5 metres inside the West half. Patton and Lalisi, the try scorer so far for the Bulldogs. As Williams creating havoc down this right side. Now inside the Tigers 40, Perry. And infield they come. Sherwin along with an Asta. And this time Ryan puts it down. Marshall comes up with the ball. Well, the shoulder might be dodgy, but the legs are fine. He gets inside the Bulldogs 30. 25 metres out. West big chance here. Prince gets away from Patton. Still with it. Falls over. Now tackled. 15 metres out from the line. Bulldogs only now all back onside. Galea down the short side with a juggle as Halatau. He'll play it 8 metres out. That time it was Ryan in defence. Galea for Prince. He looked inside, there was no one running. And they more or less squander a tackle there on 4. 9 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Tigers with Galea. And a dummy, the inside ball is Halatau. He is crunched by the defence. 5 metres out. It comes with Prince again. Marshall brings his lock forward into play. That is Fulton. Pass goes loose and over the sideline. But Simpkins had played advantage.
Offside, Sonny Bill here.
Yeah, Sonny Bill Williams was the man ruled offside. And Canterbury, as they do, up and in. Hard to get on the outside of, but if you can, there's an opportunity.
Go.
Tap taken by Hodgson and Payton. Good offload for Prince. Chance on the right here. O'Neill floats it over the top. Richards will go for the corner. Bumping run and loses the ball. He was looking to pass, but I think he lost his bearings because the touch judge was the closest man to it.
Great tackle, Willie Tonga. Luke Patton made a good tackle also previously on Benji Marshall, who was away. Andrew Ryan on the right side, a crunching tackle previously. Canterbury so good at defending their line. They've come up and in, and they realise they're in trouble, but they scramble particularly well, led by the number 4.
Okay, bend.
Good tackle,
still wait
that.
for the ball. Go
Very
down with
good
him.
tackle.
Ball in,
He's
out.
not a small man, Pat Richards.
It's Tonga who puts a step on Marshall.
One, movement.
Cut down, that time breaking
Well,
from
make
the
it.
scrum. It was Payton who got across there.
Yeah, the West Tigers are going to be very careful of the flop tackles. They're struggling to slow the play the ball down, and
Hold.
on a number of
Hold.
occasions, they've
Go.
really tried a fine line between being penalised and slowing that play the ball
Still
down.
got it. 3.
It's Ahmed. It's front on there by
Wait,
Hyington and
wait.
Galea.
Go.
And Bulldogs on their 40. Sherwin, so much of their attacking play has looked spot on today.
4, movement.
Well, they've got him to ground for the first time in the match, Williams. It took 3 there. Main man was Fatawira. Grimaldi, Sherwin. Not his best pass. Well handled there by Azatazi. Nice skills by the front rower. Ryan and then Tonga. And Utai away again. Trying to stand up Marshall. Gets away from Marshall. Now gets into a wrestle with Hodgson. He'll play it 5 metres out. Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Slow play the ball. Ryan and Asta weaves that kick through. It goes over the dead ball line. Here at Telstra Stadium on this Easter Sunday. We've got a little high shot here.
High.
I did think
Hang on, woo.
falling in the tackle.
Yeah, I know.
Simpkins
Just do it
quick
with
to
the neck,
react
little
to
neck,
tackle
careless, reckless,
on Bryce Gibbs.
intentional, whatever.
Well, I think the thing that's going to make this exciting is that the Tigers aren't going to die wondering here. See a poor kick for touch. But even though they're 12 down on the scoreboard, they've shown they're going to keep moving the ball around, and they're going to chance their arm with passes.
Prince, he threw a dummy and then looked up, and at the last moment he saw that shoulder of Williams looming. Hyington on an inside
Move
ball.
again, Tony.
Tackled there by Grimaldi. Now to dummy half goes Galea.
3,
Gibbs
movement.
on. It was Todd
Hold
Payton who
in,
went to
move.
the bench for the West Tigers. Scandalis plays it. Galea, 40 metres out from the line. It is the lock forward Fulton.
Andrew.
Earlier today, a win to the Cowboys over at Ericsson. 32 to 22. And there's a good offload for Hodgson. The Tigers are going to have their first try. Scandalis has set it up for his fullback. That's a pass that would have done big Archie Beetson proud. 12 points to 4.
Yeah, great stuff there from a man featured on the footy show this morning, John Scandalis. Played more games for the West Tigers than any other player. And the offload has finally found its mark. See the players going low there. Nobody worried about the football. And Brett Hodgson, who is a great support player, former New South Wales Origin representative, backing up the big man. You get 2 in a tackle, someone has to attend the football. And the Canterbury defence did not on that occasion.
Well, Adam Perry was actually limping around there. I don't think he took a place up in the try line, and he is actually now leaving the field. I think if you watch that on replay from up high, you'll find Adam Perry was right where Hodgson went through. Hodgson, a great support player, good ball by Scandalis, and a good hit back by the Tigers. Like I said, they're not going to die wondering. They're going to keep chancing their arm. A lot of those have come unstuck, even from Scandalis himself, but showed no fear there to look for the offload again.
We do assume that Hodgson will take it to 6 here from in front. He does that. Converts his own try. 6 points is the margin. Paul Harrigan sideline.
Yeah, that's what the Tigers have got to do. They've got to go forward. John Scandalis went forward on the back of a good play the ball. You noticed before there, they had their chances, but they wanted to go wide. They made a few breaks. They've got to go forward. They're going to get a good kick in and turn them around. Now, worked for the Cowboys last week against the Bulldogs. That's what they've got to do. Good kicking game, good go forward.
Tim Sheens working the calls from the sideline. He's got Royce Simmons, his assistant, up in the stands. And the Bulldogs, there's certainly been no urgency whatsoever with a restart on this play. And Anasta has us back into the next passage of play here at Telstra. It classifies as a Bulldogs home game today. Young Gibbs taking the ground 15 metres out from his line. As Atazi and Ahmed there. And now the lifting tackle, there's plenty of force in it. Corey Hughes gets his first tackle. That was on Mark O'Neill. His feet could not find the ground. Nice run there from Liam Fulton.
Stand up.
Lalisi there in defence as they come left with Hyington. He's back over the 40-metre line.
That's 4.
So they've endured a bit of punishment in this set, but they've still got it almost back to halfway. As Galea passes with Scandalis. Over the top that time was Ahmed. This is the last tackle for the Tigers, and Prince shaped to run it right to the line and kick. One bounce. Utai took it low. And Prince there with O'Neill and also Gibbs. And that trio taking the ground 18 metres out from the Bulldogs line. 12 points to 6. And Asta. He almost was able to pass with the left arm there. Marshall in the tackle with Hallertau. This is Patton. Bulldogs' first try scorer today. Taken by Hallertau, 40 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Show of the ball there by Corey Hughes, but Gibbs, alert from marker, makes the tackle. Grimaldi trying to dash away there from Galea, but Skandalis came in. This time the 5th tackle for the Bulldogs. Last tackle, and it is Hughes who is the kicker. It'll find Fitzhenry going back almost to his own goal line. But the Tigers a little more confident now, a little more sure of their handling than what they displayed in the first 10 or 15 minutes. They are back in the contest. Fulton, good young player. In only his 6th game today of first grade. Now the ball with Fitzhenry. Another good dummy half runner has got them offside.
It was very clever dummy half running because he knew that the markers were offside. Started off going wide to the left and realised that he could commit the defender and get his side a penalty, which is exactly what happened.
It all came off the good run from Fulton, didn't it? Good footwork, got in behind them, quick play the ball, gave his dummy half a chance.
Go.
So Galea with a free kick, and the Tigers find themselves on halfway as Gibbs, their rookie of the year last year, ridden in the ground in that tackle of Grimaldi, Williams and Asatazi, 3 of the big forwards there on the young front rower. Marshall across field, gives them an option. O'Neill's ball wasn't good, and the Bulldogs are back with it. And Asta on halfway. They turn it over early in the count, and now a penalty. Not the first time that they've done that. Lose the ball and then concede a penalty.
Yes, and Corey Hughes, good touch finder. 5 metres out. They had a set move going on. When it didn't unfold, Mark O'Neill really needed to just take the tackle.
So 5 metres out. Big opportunity here for the defending premiers. And Ryan tries to do it all himself. Andrew Ryan has got over to score. That's a little embarrassing for the West Tigers. Straight from the tap. Nothing flash, nothing fancy. But it's worth 4 for the skipper for the Bulldogs.
And again, there was urgency leading into that. The quick kick for touch from Corey Hughes. The ball actually landed in the field of play before finding the line. And the defenders on the far side just didn't move up. Too much strength, Andrew Ryan for Benji Marshall. Pat Richards pushed away for Swivel. And Andrew Ryan again keeps up this average. 3 tries this season in as many matches. And he's continuing on what he did at the end of last season. He's a leader in every sense these days.
El Masri, he just turns 4 into 6 from anywhere. We could kick him out of the dressing room, this bloke.
Well, this one is from 5 in from touch. There will be some kick. 21 metres out. El Masri, he's got 3 from 3. Alarm bells are ringing for El Magic. It's 18 to 6, 24 gone at Telstra in 9 Sunday football. Sunday football on Channel 9, round 3 of the Telstra Premiership. And a kick-off that looked headed for the touchline, intercepted by Sherwin and Asatazi as he's done all match. The man to bring it back. And was tackled front on by Fatawira. El Masri. There's not too many touches of the football that time, taken by Fitzhenry. Grimaldi infield, Asatazi. Shalosky with his first run. And Gibbs there in defence for the Tigers. 15 metres inside their own half. Let's head to the sideline. Paul Harrigan.
Yeah, we have a call on Adam Perry. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, he won't be back out, has torn his calf, won't be back out today. Also, got to say, as far as the Tigers are concerned, if they think they're going to win this game by chancing their hand and spreading it out wide, they're kidding themselves. They haven't grafted at all. They haven't won the play the balls. They've really got to start from basics. Bulldogs are all over them on the play the ball.
Hodgson fielded a kick there by Anasta. And he will play it 31 metres out. And with it is Richards. He's got that right thigh heavily strapped today. Here's another penalty for the West Tigers. It comes on tackle 2. And Corey Hughes and Anasta get up a little bemused by that. Ruling by referee Simpkins.
I was talking about the West Tigers flopping. This time it's Shalosky, who wasn't needed in the tackle. It had already been completed. Through the course of the game, you'll hear surrender. If you hear that, that means the defenders will have more time. It means that the man carrying the football has done exactly that. And then when it's movement, it means that the onus is on the defenders to get out as quickly as they can. They're not given a lot of latitude.
Galea, that time turning inside. It was Fulton who's able to offload for O'Neill. They're inside the Bulldogs 40. O'Neill elects to take the tackle this time. Shilosky was the defender. Now Galea, they work back to that right side, perhaps indicating that it's very much in the game plan to work that left side Bulldogs defence. Fulton for Prince. And now Payton is back out there looking to offload. He did a nice bump, but Azatazi was able to hang on in the tackle. Marshall puts on the big step, the leap, and is able to offload as it comes for Gibbs. That's been knocked down by Williams. This will be a Tigers scrum fee. Been very good, Gibbs, since coming on for the Tigers.
I'm not sure it's their game plan to play just the right-hand side of the field. It looks to me as though they want to keep going down the blind side of the field. Whatever's the shorter side of the field, watch this kid leap in the air before he puts the big step on. Now, if he leaps in the air like that, there's only one way he can go.
Yeah, the homework had been done too, hadn't it? Tony Grimaldi had already set himself back on his heels to drive the tackle. He knew he was going to step back straight into his arms. Here's a chance.
Still a big chance for the Tigers indeed with Hodgson. Flicks it inside with Richards. 10 metres from the Bulldogs line. They trail by 12 here at Telstra. The Tigers coming close to the line, and Williams there with Patton. 3 metres out. Played by Hallertau. First receiver is Prince. He's got Fulton. He finds Fulton. Lovely low tackle by Grimaldi. There's troubles for Scott Prince. It looks serious for the Tigers. They're 1 metre out from the line now.
Still a chance this way. They haven't recovered. They've gone the wrong way for mine.
Hodgson, he elects to kick. Richards with a height advantage on Utai. Bats it back infield. Then it's knocked sideways. Still play on. Bulldogs come up with the ball. But there's real trouble here for the Tigers with Scotty Prince.
Well, he threw a beautiful pass to Liam Fulton. Very similar to the pass thrown by Brent Sherwin for their first try. But he has reeled out of it. Must admit, I was watching the ball carrier and not the contact on Scott Prince. But you know when players are hurt with the way they react, and it's a shoulder charge. Very strong shoulder charge by the number 14, Corey Hughes. Nothing wrong with it.
I think it's winded him. I think it's winded him because he relaxed after the pass.
You right to go?
So happy to see him get to his feet.
And the good result for the Tigers is the line drop out. The ball batted back by Pat Richards. It was play on, very close to scoring a try. And Anasta. So often we've seen these restarts from under the post go 55, 60 on the fly.
Hyington with a run back for the West Tigers.
Up now.
Sets them up on tackle 1, 32 metres out. It was Hughes there. Marshall on for Payton.
Surrender.
There's a Tazi there. You hear that surrender call. Shilosky there as well for the Bulldogs. He then put a push on Payton. It comes away for Gibbs. And that time it's Williams defending. They're only 15 metres out, the Tigers. Galea for Prince. Quick hands for Marshall. Marshall inside ball, well read by Williams. He was waiting with Azatazi. Fulton proving very dangerous in attack. He's a go-to man this afternoon. Marshall offloads for Payton. He does the step just like Benji. Not quite as quick, possibly. 9 metres out. Galea for Fulton. Fulton thought about throwing long, went short with Prince. Out the back for O'Neill. Did well to hang on to it, then offloads and it's put down in the Bulldogs.
That's a really poor last option play. Scott Prince, who is their kicker, is second receiver outside Liam Fulton. As he gets the football, he runs straight into the defence. They never gave themselves a chance to put any pressure on. And now, as we've seen on a couple of occasions, when they make a mistake or something doesn't go well, all of a sudden a penalty increases their problems.
The Bulldogs throwing a flush on the head with a kick. Corey Hughes. And here he is with the ball. He'll be doing a few more 400s this week, I reckon, young Corey. 35 metres out from the West Tigers line. Sherwin, Azatazi, much improved player. Earned his international honours during the off-season. I think he'll be there on April 22. We'll bring you the test between the Aussies and the Kiwis. Sherwin turns inside. It's been put down by Anasta. And this time the Bulldogs make an error in the attacking zone of the West Tigers.
It's a favoured play of the Bulldogs, and it's a good one. And no one does it better than Brent Sherwin. He goes to the open side of the field, props, and then he's able to throw the ball across the ruck where the play the ball was. And you can see that Braithen Astor was zeroing in on a hole there, covered by only one Tigers player. It didn't find the mark, but you watch this season, I'll bet they scored 2 or 3 tries off that very play.
Prince is okay. He's the man feeding the scrum, and now got away from Sherwin. He was running towards the support of Hodgson and straightened up and accepted the tackle of Tonga. Galea, long pass across with Marshall. Long ball as well for Fitzhenry. Down the touchline. Has to prop and come back in field. And all over him is Lalisi in the tackle on the Tigers' 40-metre line. Now Harrison's producing a step with his first touch. Able to offload, and it's been called forward, that one.
Ball between them.
Yeah, it's come off. It's actually a knock on. When he's lost it, it's touched a defender before coming back into his hands. There you can see the players missing. Coincidentally, when the Tigers were successful at Gosford last year against the Bulldogs, Steve Price was missing, as he is today, of course, going to another club, but so too Willie Mason and Mark O'Mealy.
Ball in.
I think Benji Marshall is playing with fire, looking at those long passes out to his winger. I know he found the mark there, but Haslam will pick him off if he tries it again.
Good tackle, Richards, on Tonga. Not easily done. Now with Nate Miles, he's the man in 16 for the Bulldogs, and he's been impressive off the bench in his first 2 matches in the NRL. Shalosky, 2-man tackle, they pick him up. He copped the treatment last Friday week against the Cowboys. There was Gibbs leading the charge there for the Tigers. Ryan, one of the 3 try scorers. Held up, wasn't an offload. Hallertau got there with O'Neill. Hughes, short side. Patton spins away, able to offload for Ryan. This is Sherwin. Sherwin on, and then looking to flick out the back again was Miles. Nice tackle low by Fulton. Last play for the Bulldogs. Sherwin passes up, and that look forward. The Tigers come up with the ball in any case. And Robbie Farah, 10 metres out from the line, a bit of a let-off there for the West Tigers. And now they get a penalty against Willie Tonga.
They're so dangerous in your end of the field, the Bulldogs. You've just got to keep them away.
18-6 here in 9 Sunday football. Here at Telstra, Tigers on the back of a penalty, which gets them out of some serious trouble. They're still in the game. They trailed 12-0 early. And right now the margin is 12 at 18-6. Here is Payton from Morley there with Miles. 5 short of halfway. West Tigers possession. Farah, good young dummy half. Marshall working there with Prince. This time the inside ball for Harrison. Effective defence. Driving in Lalisi. He's a good competitor. As they come the blind side. Defence, the short side plays from the Tigers. That time it was Williams waiting on Fulton. Prince, 45 metres from the line. Hodgson hasn't seen a lot of space with the exception of when he scored the try today. Prince, that's good work. O'Neill, Hallertau, great play by the Tigers. Richards away down that side. And is taken low, 20 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Good tackle from Andrew Ryan. They set for the kick. It's a high one. This to the wing of Fitzhenry. El Masri goes up. El Masri comes down with it. Flying El Magic that time.
And a couple of his teammates were claiming that he was tackled mid-air. I think that they were contesting the football, the Tigers. Spectacular stuff from Hazem El Masri. And a pretty good kick from Scott Prince. And here's the little winger again getting involved, taking it close to the 20. Gets a run up. And yeah, Fadawira trying to get in a position to take the football himself.
Makes the take even better. The interference that he copped. And the Bulldogs will play it with Miles, 15 metres out from their line. Shalosky. He's very determined. Taken low by O'Neill there, and Sherwin getting his kick. That's from inside the 40, but it's down the centre. And Hodgson with a bit of room to move here. He gets up over the 20. Now he does the skip and the jump. Jumping almost at shadows as he is tackled 35 metres out from his own line by Tonga. Richards out of dummy half. Can be a strong runner. That time Miles does the wrestle. And combining with an Astor, they get him to ground. Now Farah, O'Neill, short pass close to the ruck, Hallertau. Not bad there. Andrew Ryan made the tackle. It needed to be made. Tigers, they come left. Prince on for Harrison. Sherwin there. And the Bulldogs managed to bring an end to the play, but the Tigers, they're building to something in this set. At a dummy half, they go with Farah. Back inside for Fadawira. Sherwin again there, this time with Lalisi. Last tackle for the West Tigers. They will look to Scott Prince. He's able to steady before kicking. It's Richards v Utai again. Richards up, he bats back in field, it went forward. And Anasta has it for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's not a bad ploy if they can get it right, because Pat Richards he's just about the best in the league in the air. He is fantastic at flying high. On that occasion, deliberately looking to push it back. And this is starting to really get out of hand how often the Tigers are giving away a penalty early in the count after a changeover in possession.
There's already 10 penalties in the game, and the majority of them have been in the play the ball area. I think the referees in the first 3 rounds have done a pretty good job with the new interpretation of the rule, but they seem to be a lot harsher when you've got a team coming out of trouble on the defence.
Miles. And this is inside his own half.
Sorry, Andrew, this is a huge 4.5 minutes for the Bulldogs. I'm sorry, for the Tigers. Trailing by 12 is acceptable at halftime. Any more, very, very difficult the second 40. Tigers really must make sure their line's not crossed again as we go into the break.
Fulton, another good tackle. He's been just about the Tigers' best in this first. That was on Williams. Hughes for Sherwin. Sherwin has Patton inside. He's down the highway. He loses the ball, though, in passing. And the Tigers come up with it.
And very good work there from big Todd Payton to stay alive. He got between the ball carrier and the intended receivers, and he forced the pass to go astray. There were plenty of blue and white jerseys queuing up, but the big fella kept moving and saved the day.
Richards away from Utah. Utah gets a second challenge and then gets him on his back. Tigers fans a little unhappy with that. And now with Halatau, 15 metres short of halfway. Grimaldi there for the Bulldogs.
There's also a great ball from Brent Sherwin, very well disguised.
Stand-ups. Tackle by Shalosky. Farah kicks out a dummy half, a left footer. Has turned around El Masri and Patton. Marshall's leading the chase here. Patton's back in goal. Marshall gets there, but Patton gets to the field of play, but only by half a metre. Exciting play on the chase.
That's the kick you need against the Bulldogs. We're now in the 37th minute, and that is the first time the Tigers have turned the Bulldogs around.
Grimaldi, and they're hemmed inside their own 10 now. Fatawira and young Bronson Harrison with a push there. 5 out from their line. Williams will not pass this time as Payton went low, and they've done well on Williams the last 10 minutes, the Tigers. Bulldogs now, they decide to extend to the left. Got a little untidy. Tonga. That is the 5th tackle. They've made only 15 metres. Big pat on the back for the Tigers defensively here. Skandalis puts pressure on Anasta, who gets away. A massive kick. He gets it down to the 20 from inside his own 20.
He's fired that out of a cannon. Absolutely fired that out of a cannon. That went into the heavens. What a kick.
60 metres in distance. This time the Tigers get a penalty. 3 minutes out from half-time. If looks could kill from Sonny Bill there.
He deliberately played at that football, Sonny Bill Williams, with 2 in the tackle. There is a rule interpretation this year that if the ball is not played at and a touch is not played, there won't be a penalty awarded. But there's no doubt Sonny Bill on that occasion had a shot at the footy.
Tigers keeping it alive, and Payton on the 40. That's a good tackle front on the big front rower. It was Andrew Ryan. He was just looking to offload. Marshall with a dummy and then finding Mark O'Neill. Shalosky went low. Over the top was Ryan. They're now only 30 metres out. And little Robbie Farah makes 10. He puts in the big Harbour Bridge pass over the top for Marshall. Then along for Skandalis. Another offload Marshall. This is Fatawira. Inside for Fitzhenry. I'll tell you what, that's a cracking West Tigers try. Right on the stroke of half-time. Their 2 tries in this first half have featured some wonderful offloads.
Great stuff there, and I was talking about the West Tigers side keeping their line intact. Well, it's Canterbury who cracked just as we go into half-time. And John Skandalis featured once again. He put Brett Hodgson away for their first try. Farah did well to keep it alive. The big fella gets it. Now, when Paul Fatawira receives football, if he frees it there, he holds on to it long enough to actually attract 2 defenders. And as play continues, by holding it that length of time, it enabled his inside man, the winger, to come into open space. If only one had gone across, one would have stayed on the inside to take the receiver, but Fatawira committed both defenders.
A touch of class 2 from the 5'8" Benji Marshall. 2 beautiful passes. The first one a delayed effort to put Skandalis into half a space. then the awareness to back up and catch and pass in the one motion to put Whatuira down the left-hand edge. Benji Marshall did so well in that little rapid interchange. Whatuira did his role, but it was Benji Marshall's try. Two great passes.
Big effort. West Tigers, they were down by 12 early. 12-0. They were dropping the ball every second set. Hodgson gets the margin to 6 at half-time. Here at Telstra Stadium, 3 tries to 2. And Richards will have us underway here with the Bulldogs up by 6 points in round 3 of the Telstra Premiership. And Tigers looking for their first win, having achieved the 2 points via the bye last week.
That's one.
Shilosky with the first hit up of the second half, and Payton there with a tackle. And then a good front-on shot by Harrison.
Marcus square again. Hold. Go.
There was some force in that on Nate Miles. Williams taken to ground. Watch this shot. Harrison put his left shoulder on the line.
4, stand up.
Bulldogs with it 38 metres out from their own try line. Patton and Sherwin. He was under pressure there of Wilson. Unloads for Anasta. It's not the last tackle, so not absolutely necessary. They get the kick away, but now it is. They reach the last. Hughes a dummy half. Sherwin kicks from 48 metres out.
Keep 10.
Places this one to the corner. Hodgson with a little bit of time. He's got Richards infield. The line of defenders there, led by Tonga. So the Tigers have the football in their hands for the first time in the second half. This is Richards. Was heavily involved in the first half, in particular at the end of kicks. And now with Fitzhenry taken on the 30 there by Williams. From dummy half goes Robbie Farah.
Stand up.
That time Miles alongside Hughes to make the tackle. Wilson back to the right, and Prince from right on the 40-metre line with his kick. Got plenty of distance on it. Utai is back. Came into his left hand, and he tries to put a step on. He more or less bounced away from Wilson.
And that is a better kick, as we saw one in the first half, in behind Matt Utai. Turning and making him chase just takes a bit out of him, and also you don't want him bringing the football back second or third play on the kick return. You're better off having a good line down, get him out of the way early, let him play the football, and then worry about the next attackers that are coming, probably not as dangerous.
Saw Nate Miles upended by Mark O'Neill. Sonny Bill, he's got the right arm free. 2 in the tackle. They do finish him off. They do well to get him to ground, and he had some time on his hands. There's a pat on the back for Fulton for finishing off the tackle. He's there again with O'Neill on Nate Miles. 5 metres inside the Tigers' half. The little chip from Sherwin. Bounces favourable though for Hodgson. Hodgson back for the West Tigers. Here's the counter punch. Gets up to halfway. Good work from the Tigers fullback.
On now, surrender 1.
And says what was a dangerous situation. Whatuira.
2.
And the ankles there was Corey Hughes. 35 metres from the line. The Tigers with Farah. And inside for Scandalis. 2 offloads in the first half. Both led to tries. Payton. Up he goes. Picks out Prince. They're inside the 20. Prince goes straight through. Hands and knees. Stretches out the score. We've had a few double movements so far this weekend, but I reckon that one's okay for the number 7.
Well, if he hasn't been claimed by a defender, he's got every right to reach out and plant the football despite falling short of the line in his initial effort. The big dummy threw the ball. Opted to throw the dummy instead of throwing the ball. That's fine. Shilosky arrives late, but it was the big dummy fallen for by the defenders, got him in behind the line. A little step to beat Luke Patton. He still goes to ground, but if he's not claimed by the defender, and he isn't, got every reason to do that.
This will be a try. Tigers are back. It came off the back of another good kick and chase. Came off the back of another good kick and chase. They turned the Bulldogs around, made them work out of trouble. The next set of 6 from the Bulldogs defence was pretty poor.
They come to the right after some good lead up, and Scott Prince throws the ball and slides through. Patton did his best. Shilosky arrives late.
They would say they have the momentum. Last try of the first half. First try of the second. It's 18 all. Chiefs sideline.
That's the way they should have started in the first half. They got plenty of attack in them, but that set of 6, they went forward, they played the ball well, put on a little set play there, and Scotty Prince, the nice dummy he went through. Actually, fantastic to see him and Benji Marshall playing together. They've only played a handful of times together because of injury, but I tell you what, great potential there. Very, very exciting for the Tigers.
Benji Marshall to the bench for the West Tigers, and a little ginger in getting there. The Bulldogs will restart. Well, this game really alive, and Anasta not happy with his restart. It's come down almost in no man's land. Payton didn't get the depth on the kick. And they are with it 21 metres out from their line, the West Tigers at 18 all, having trailed 12-0 early here against the defending premiers, Fulton. Passing short of the line for Scandalis. And in the tackle, Lalisi. Out of dummy half goes Farah. Harrison got through one. Lovely off-road. The Tigers with all the confidence in the world. Fadawira on the pass from Fitzhenry. Fadawira with plenty of pace and taken to ground by Patton. It may still be a try, but
it's a try.
By gee, it was a struggle between the number 1 for the Dogs and the number 4 for the Tigers.
He might have had the fullback hanging on, but even if he's tackled short of the line, there's no way knowing that momentum didn't take him over. Great lead-up play. Bronson Harrison, lovely little right foot step to create the movement on the far side. As far as I'm concerned, the momentum takes him there.
Steve Carroll is the video ref. Over the shoulder of Tim Sheens. He says no try penalty.
Wrong call. Totally wrong call. That's totally wrong call. No risk in the world. Beautiful play.
Well, Tigers fans are stunned and Bulldogs fans are relieved. Fadawira, a foot race with Patton. He's down there and he ends up, his whole body in goal. He's almost taken Patton with him.
That is such a bad call. It's hard to believe.
So the Bulldogs are with it. And it continues, the Tigers feeling hard done by in clashes against the Bulldogs. Round 20 last year, they went down by 4. Anyway, let's stick with the action here. Here's Patton. On halfway, gets a nice step. And tackled by Wilson. 45 metres from the Tigers' line. Ahmed. It livens up everyone. Crowd, players, coaching staff, commentators. Hughes. Dummy half, 32 metres out. Azatazi. Nice metres. And almost offloaded. It was Anasta who was steaming through. Last tackle, Sherwin. Goes very high. This is a tough one for Hodgson. It comes down almost on the crossbar. And Hodgson does very well for the Tigers. 12 metres out from their own line at 18 all, and only 6.5 into this second half. There again is Fulton. He's been good on his feet. He's mixed up his game as well. Scandalis. Tackled there by Lalisi and Sherwin. And dummy half Farrett, crisp work on the short side again with Fulton and Harrison. Aren't they getting some impact off the bench, the Tigers? Harrison back for Wilson. Tackle made by Corey Hughes. Last tackle, West Tigers. Scott Prince, they're playing their best football of the match right now. And that kick down for Utah. He took his time before fielding. There are 4 chases there. He got away from the first 3, or at least ran away. And Richards makes the tackle.
But that's the way to do it. Turn them around, chase down, peg them in their own territory, make them work hard to get out of trouble.
Andrew Ryan got the pass for Anasta. He's past 1. Halatau's there. Good offload. And Tonga now strong, almost back to halfway. This game has gone up a few cogs here. Patton on for Anasta, or rather Azatazi, and now Corey Hughes. Kept it going. Azatazi wraps around. Hodgson there wraps up the ball. 30 metres from the West Tigers line. Good attack from both teams. Sherwin, then with Hughes, on for Sonny Bill. He's 10 metres from the line. Offloaded somehow for Ahmed. And tackled low down by O'Neill. Patton, they go right over the shoulder of Sherwin. It's picked up by Grimaldi. He comes back infield. Has lost ground in the play. Last tackle, the Bulldogs. 20 metres out. At 18 all, Patton. Then again, it's Sherwin. And this ball is high for Hodgson. If he can take it, it's a 20-minute restart. He's lost it. Ryan claims another try.
Well, Brett
Off to the
Hodgson...
video ref again, Sterling.
Yeah, he's claiming, Brett Hodgson, that he was taken out in the play, that he didn't get a fair catch on the football. So we'll go up top, and this will be a cruel blow to the Tigers if this is awarded so soon after. They should have been having a green light at the other end. Let's have a look at the chasers. Brent Sherwin kicks, no problems at all on the left side.
On the right side, they're offside.
Well, there is one player who's offside now, and he comes within the 10. The man who contests the football. This should be no try.
Yeah, Patton's offside.
Luke
no
Patton. We have a look at it again. We will show you Luke Patton in relation to the kicker, Brent Sherwin. He's about to kick now as we freeze it there. That man, as play continues, is the player that gets involved. I think he's marginally offside. Is Brett Hodgson interfered with? No. That will be the only saving grace for the Tigers if Luke Patton is ruled to have been in front of the kicker. It's line ball, I have to say.
He refereed 2 first-grade games in 2001. Why haven't we got a qualified first-grade referee as the video referee in this first-grade match? He's got it right, that one. Good on you, Stevie boy.
Well, he's come up with a no-try call and penalty to the Tigers for the offside chaser. And it was only just Luke Patton. You'd have to say every other player onside.
Well, he's come up with the right call here. But I still don't understand how a man who's only refereed 2 first-grade games can be appointed as a video referee in a first-grade match here today.
That's one. Stand
We can
up.
do better than that. Nothing personally against Steve Carroll, but that's a pressure position.
12-0. I had signs, I thought, coming at this game, but it's warming up now, isn't it?
It's a real contest. As Fulton's pass, they were looking for Fatawira. They found Fitzhenry, and Sherwin collects him.
Clear. Come on,
Up the
boys.
Tigers,
10
they're
metres.
45 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Bronson Harrison's having a stormer. He's with the ball again. Young Kiwi in this Tigers lineup.
Back it up.
35 metres out from the line. Wilson coming back in field and cut down in the tackle of Azatazi. Last tackle for the Tigers. A result here would be nice. Prince steadies to kick. It's Richards getting through with Halatau. This time it's taken down. The Bulldogs are with it. And Tonga comes down the touchline. Prince across in cover. And finished off in the tackle of Scandalis. And that has stung Willie Tonga. Back in field, Patton. All alive this game. The crowd, they're a little more vocal since half-time. Armit back. He did appear to be held, and now Hughes for Patton. 42 metres out from his own line. Halatau there in defence. Tonga's up and okay. Corey Hughes, short side. Ryan, quick hands. Utah chips over the top. It goes over the sideline.
One. Move.
That is
The tackle was all
ridiculous.
that late either.
That's ridiculous.
Corey Hughes for Sherwin. Advantage Bulldogs. Grimaldi, Lalisi back in field. Unloads for Azatazi. 22 out. Here is Ryan. Straightens up.
2.
O'Neill comes over the top.
Hold, go.
With him was Wilson. Bulldogs. Azatazi again. Tries to batter his way through the defence. Right on the goal line. Corey Hughes dummy half. Up it comes. A high ball for the front rower, Ahmed. And he is taken low by Scandalis. 5 away. Corey Hughes at 18 all. Sherwin on that 10-metre line now. Patton brings his man inside. It's Grimaldi. And he is held up there by Robbie Farah. They're only 5 metres out. Last tackle with the Dogs. Sherwin. They decide to run this time. Anasta. Ryan kicks. Ryan chases. And the Tigers cover up with Hodgson.
It's a good game, Bossy. It's got everything. The referees are in it. The crowds are in it. The players are in it. I told you the Tigers would give them some today. Good game of footy.
Yeah, decided to run it on the last, and Andrew Ryan realised it was breaking down. Talk about controversy between these two sides. The match we were talking about last year, round 20, you may remember Matt Utai knocking on from the kickoff. He then ran 50 metres, and a couple of tackles later, Hazem Masri actually scored what proved to be a crucial try in that game. They felt that they were hard done by that evening. They feel hard done by a decision or two here this afternoon as well.
Ahmed is wrestled to ground by 3 there. Scandalis and Harrison and Bryce Gibbs. Paul Harrigan sideline.
Yeah, just a quick one on Benji Marshall. Now, he's been feeling a bit dusty. He's pulled off about 5 minutes ago. Now, he was physically ill in the dressing sheds. He's still having a rest. But for heaven's sake, this game is 18-all. They need him out there.
Corey Hughes, untidy ball, and the Tigers come away with it. Fulton, Liam Fulton almost back to halfway. He's lost the ball. And the Bulldogs with it. Knock on both ways. First one against the Tigers.
Yeah, but was there enough advantage to the West Tigers? You would think that there probably was. They had a great chance. He did run 15 or 20 metres and tried to offload.
It's just inexperience. There was no need to look for the pass. He got too excited. I don't know why he wasn't play on. Bulldogs come up with the ball.
Ball in. Out.
20 years of age, Liam Fulton leaving a mark on this game. Tigers, or West Junior.
Movement. Hold.
Bulldogs
Back.
with Tonga, 42 metres out. Andrew Ryan steps back in off that left into the tackle of Bryce Gibbs. 38 metres from the line, Corey Hughes up with Azatazi. He too has been very damaging today. That tackle again by Bryce Gibbs. Sherwin, that pass on the bounce to Tonga. Tonga with a step away from Hallertau. Gets past another, that was Gibbs. And Hallertau comes again to make the tackle, 10 out. Bulldogs are close. Here is Sherwin, back in field, not handled there by Azatazi. I don't think he even got a hand to it, just straight off the leg. And a let off this time for the West Tigers. They will stretch left too with Prince. He ran out of support. El Masri had come in from his wing. Now Fitzhenry. Players run more from dummy half than Daniel Fitzhenry. That time tackled by Brightson. O'Neill taking his time to pass, and now Hodgson. He's got an overlap on his outside. Tigers with an opportunity. Hallertau gets past Brightson. He's got support. That is Richards on halfway. Passes there for Farah. Here is Richards. Propelled away from the Lalisi tackle. Now passes. Fitzhenry. 10 metres out from the line. Back for Prince. Play on the Tigers. Harrison. They won't stop him. He's over for a try. It is a sensational try. It's had a bit of everything.
We're having a look at the video referee again on the far side when the ball went to ground. But this is beautiful. What about attacking from their own line, the big bust down the right-hand side, Paddy Richards, a couple of involvements. Just to be there, Bronson Harrison, after having to travel 80 metres to put yourself in a position to score is wonderful in itself. Fitzhenry, the ball back to Scott Prince. That ball's gone back off the Canterbury player. Now the only doubt, and it's called play on by the referee, the only doubt can be whether Scott Prince's pass before being touched by the Canterbury player was thrown forward.
He's not allowed to rule on forward passes.
No, exactly.
He's not allowed to rule on forward passes.
That one there.
Yeah, he's not allowed to rule on it.
It's a try then.
He cannot rule on the forward pass.
And I tend to think it was.
Well, yeah, but he can't rule on it.
I think he's thrown it forward. It's hit a Canterbury player. The referee has called play on. We go to the video ref.
The Tigers try.
And well-deserved too to Harrison. Although he's probably got about a dozen teammates to thank. They're all involved. The old Balmain Tigers jumper there. Wasn't expecting to see Alpha Micro across it. Or Saxonvale Wines. That's going back some time.
Run the telestrator over this one, Sterlo. Where are you going to come in?
No. Just let it flow. Let's just watch and enjoy. A great support play. Dean Hallertau. He's quick. He finds Pat Richards. Pat gets a ball away, stays alive, gets it straight back. The big fend there on Jamal Lalisi and Luke Patton did valiantly. Came up with a tackle eventually. And the ball bounces back to Bronson Harrison. And there's no one out there who deserves to try more than this kid.
And now the kick successful. First time in the game that the Tigers have led. Paul Harrigan sideline.
Honestly, this is as good as it gets on the sideline, one end to the other. Look, they always had the skill. They're backing themselves in now. They've got the momentum. They've really got to keep going. Pat Richards, fantastic athlete, one of the best wingers going around. But I've got to say, Bronson Harrison, I said before about their bench, they're young, they've got a big responsibility. But this young kid, 20 years of age, he's got it all there. A great future. Well done.
Harrison, the try scorer. And yes, you watching across the Tasman, you find he's pledged his allegiance to New Zealand. Bryce Gibbs comes back from the kickoff and braces for impact on the 20.
And when you're the despised outsider, when no one gives you a chance of winning and suddenly you find yourself in front with 20 to go, you've got to get away from thinking about, well, can we really win it? You've just got to keep doing what you're doing and forget the scoreboard. It's uncharted territory for a lot of these young fellows. They weren't expected to win today, but they're in front. How do they handle it?
Robbie Farah trapped out of dummy half there by Sherwin. Tense on the bench, aren't they? Sonny Bill is there for the Bulldogs. And the Tigers with Skandalis. On halfway, Ahmed makes the tackle and Prince kicks on the last. He's got this down to Patton, 5 metres out from the Bulldogs line. It's been a high-quality second half and Patton goes straight through. Just about the fastest man on the Bulldogs side. Hodgson got past him. Got a bump from Skandalis and he will play it 35 metres out from the Tigers line. This is all quality. Grimaldi and Asta along for Corey Hughes. He's lost the ball. And the Tigers are with it, Liam Fulton. Passed up for Skandalis. This is Benji Marshall. He does a step with no one in front of him. He's taken the ground by El Masri. 15 inside their own half. At a dummy half, he goes Fitzhenry, the former baggage handler. He's back up the halfway.
Well, as we saw in the first half, especially early in the game, West Tigers handing over too much possession. It is now turned around. The Bulldogs failing to complete their sets, and they were doing it in good attacking position. Very rare for this side to squander so much ball.
40 metres out, Fulton offloading. They can all offload now. Hallertau ends up with it. They land on Fulton. 5 inside the Bulldogs half. It has been so impressive. The young players in this Tigers side not forgetting the veterans like Skandalis. Wilson away with Prince. Along now, Harrison. They know he's a danger. That time they handle him. And they handle him well. It's Lalisi. He pushed him down after playing. Could have been a penalty. Kick through on the last tackle. Patton's with it. Gets back to the field of play. Now steps. Runs back infield. And Prince there to make the challenge.
I'd be trying to kick away from Luke Patton if I were the Tigers. When he fields it in the backfield, you're in trouble. They've got to kick it to the wingers. Get it in behind them. Don't kick it to where he can attack you.
Brydson was hit. Sonny Bill's ready to come back on, but Brydson copped it there from Bryce Gibbs.
Heavy contact there. Bronson Harrison rebounding off Roy Asatasi as Matt Utai gets involved on a ground that he does score a lot of tries on.
Inside their 30 and Sherwin. They need a big play here. Williams got away from Richards, looking to offload. He's run himself into trouble. That's off the legs. It's play on. Off the legs twice of Anasta. Now it comes up for Hodgson. He will play it 45 metres away from the Bulldogs line. Marshall dummy half. You heard from the chief. He was sick at half-time in the dressing room.
Stand up.
Tackled there by Brydson. Tigers up by 6 after they trailed by 12 inside the first 10 of this game. Prince. And ball and all tackle there. It was Grimaldi. 31 metres away from the Bulldogs line. Dummy half is Robbie Farah. He shows the ball. Robbie Farah. Touch of Ben Elias about it. Then passes intercept by El Masri. And Lalisi is with the ball for the Bulldogs. They're getting close to the touchline. Sleight of hand by Robbie Farah.
He's a freak, your man Haslam, though, isn't he? Doesn't he come up with them at the best of times? Good work by Farah. Great work by El Masri.
Jumping forward was Ahmed. We're only into the final quarter of this game right now. It has been some second half. Sherwin, Bulldogs on their 20. And Williams still able to offload, intercept. Prince has got it. He salutes the judge. He flashes the whip in the air, and the stewards for the Tigers won't mind that. They're up by 10, and you can make it 12 in just a moment.
He continues to have a good game, Scotty Prince. As a concerned Willie Mason, not happy with proceedings. And the cardinal sin here by Sonny Bill Williams is throwing the football without looking. Catches and passes. They get the football now to Sonny Bill Williams as we freeze it there. You can see that Scotty Prince, he is just about in line with where the tackle is completed. And as play continues, there it is. Sonny Bill catching and passing in the one motion. Even little things like when Paul Fatawira kicked the football last tackle on the far side of the field earlier, Scotty Prince, he didn't have to chase, but he came up and made the tackle. If he wasn't there, there was open spaces for the Canterbury player.
The lead is 12 here at Telstra Stadium in 9 Sunday football, 30-18 to the Tigers. What an Easter Sunday battle this is. The Tigers, they trailed 12-0 not long after the start of the match. They could hardly hang on to the ball. They could hardly complete a set. Now they lead the Premiers by 12 with 17 to go.
Yeah, well, strap yourself in because there's 17 to go and the Bulldogs aren't going to take this lying down. That won't help giving away penalties. That'll just lead to frustration. But you can bet your life now the Bulldogs will spring into a different gear and they will chase these 12 points. They will not give up.
Adam Bridson is the player penalised here. Made the tackle. Then pushes Fulton down a second time. Pushing forward. Hyington bumped away from 2 and back to the 40. This West Tigers side, Galier's had quite a sit on the bench because his replacement, Farah, was performing so well. He remains out there, and Galier now is a running forward. Prince across for Marshall, shaped inside, got the pass around the outside, it was on, and Fitzhenry play on the call. Tigers still in possession. Another big step. They work forward to within 35 of the line. And Bridson there in defence on Fulton. Marshall across with Prince. Prince then brings Gibbs into the play. And the young front rower tackled 28 metres out from the Bulldogs line as Atazi was there with Williams. Quick play the ball. Finds Prince kicking high. Off the boot, it looked a little long. It is. And Patton with a safe take. The Bulldogs will come back to the 20. Not Scotty Prince's best, that one. And Sherwin on the tap restart. Away with an Asta, and they come left. Yes, they have picked it up, the Bulldogs. Tonga was the man playing it, and Bridson gets over the 40, but Gibbs was waiting there, and he's helped by 3 teammates as Galier added to the tackle. So too Robbie Farah. Sherwin dummy half. 5 minutes inside their own half, and that is Armit to halfway. And that time Hyington was first in. 30-18. Shock scoreline as Atazi pass short, and the ball doesn't go to hand, and the Tigers are in possession, and they are so confident. Fitzhenry passed. Hodgson stepping and weaving. Links up with Wilson. Collected high by Tonga. Finished off by Anasta. 25 metres from the line. Hodgson looked to attack short side. Now goes the open. That is Hyington. And Bryson's got him to ground. They lead by 12. There's 14 and a half remaining. As they come with Wilson. He's almost cut in half in the tackle. That was good from Anasta. Farah. Marshall across with Prince. Galier inside. He goes outside with Fulton. Overhead ball. Fatawira tries to throw inside. Fitzhenry keeps it alive. Play on the Tigers. 2 metres from the line. Sherwin came up with a try-saving tackle. They're looking to knock the Bulldogs right out here. Short pass that time from Prince for Galier.
Will he think of 1 point, or will they go for more? The kick across from Scotty Prince.
Last tackle, Prince. They go wide. Hodgson, Marshall, Hyington gets the ball away to Wilson. Tigers have got another try. They have scored, what is it now, 5 unanswered tries. It has been marvellous football since just before half-time.
And it was a very composed try. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were putting players in a position to be able to take advantage of an overlap, but also with a chance of kicking the football. Never had numbers there, the Bulldogs, but just very clinical, the catch and pass, commit your defender, catch and pass, commit the defender, and all of a sudden it looked very easy, but so well executed under pressure. You're looking at Scott Prince now, first receiver, and the great thing is when you're running the football and heavily involved like Scott Prince, he could have taken 1 point. He could have kicked high. But instead, he shaped through the pass, everybody straightening up, playing the unders. Beautiful ball there, the final pass to the try scorer.
He's 20 years of age, Benji Marshall. Just see the little shimmy there he put on the defence, a little move. Just with his whole body, faked as though he was going to take them on, and then deftly put the pass on the outside to create space. You can't coach that. You don't coach that. That's just natural. That's just football instinct. Beautiful stuff. Oh, the Tigers, they've run them around.
Well, it is 5 unanswered tries. They were down by 18 points to 6 coming up to half-time. They have put 5 tries, and we thought they had one fair, one disallowed as well. Hodgson's kick, 5 in from touch. It looks good off the boot. Brett Hodgson, he's got another 2. 9 Sunday football, believe it or not, 36 to 18 the Tigers. Well, it is quite a competition we have in just the 3rd round of this 2005 Premiership. It'll be only one side without a victory, that being the St George Illawarra Dragons.
You're not going to get a kicking around like that.
As the Tigers return with Hyington, played his part in that try. Still 11 minutes remaining here. And the Bulldogs have been able to finish matches in the past with some whirlwind finishes, but maybe not today. Seagulls beating the Storm earlier by 7 points at Brookvale. And repeating what we told you about earlier, the Cowboys home against the Warriors. And now with Prince from halfway, his kick is deep. He's turned around Utai. It's going to pull up in goal. It's perfect. Utai chased across field by Wilson. And he combines with O'Neill to make the tackle. 10 out from the line.
And again, by tackling Utai there, the players who are going to take the football forward now, not as dangerous coming out from this end of the field. Although Luke Patton's had a fine running game, I still think defenders would rather he was coming than Utai. Unfortunately, the Tigers undo a lot of the good work. They're giving away penalty early in the count. We are about to come into the final 10 minutes. And if the Tigers lose this game, it will be because they invite the opposition back into it somehow.
Back it up, 14.
Bulldogs with Bridson and across with Azatazi. He's still been very good today. Paul Harrigan sideline.
Yeah, I was a little bit critical of the Tigers early in that first half, wanting to chance their hand. But I've got to say, with Benji Marshall and Scott Prince, when they're together, that's their style of play. They've got lethal attack, and that's the way they produce it. Now, Bronson Harrison also for the Tigers, he's just linked off with a calf. He's been a good young player for them. And also, I've got to say, John Skandalis, he's as good as they get. He's been working his backside off out there.
20 metres out, Bridson, now 10 away. Got it away for Shalosky. On for Sherwin. He's only 5 metres from the line. The Bulldogs attacking. They don't think it's entirely possible to get it back to 30 all or 36 all if they can.
6 more.
And Asta, 6 to go is the call there, and Asta goes again, and Asta has scored. Well, there is still time. And they got the best goal kicker in the business as well. 9 to go, 36-22.
Yeah, that penalty did hurt them early in the count again. It gave the Bulldogs a chance to get out of their own end easily. The ball was touched by the West Tigers player. Ray the Nasta, who had the pass charged down or knocked down, was able to pick it up and dive over. There's time, because Hassan will put this over and we'll have a 12-point ball game.
He's one of the most alert footballers I've ever seen, Braithen Nasta. You think the ball just bounces for him all the time, but he's always looking for it. If it bounces to him, and he gets up and plays on.
Margin is 12 with 8 minutes remaining. This Easter Sunday battle here at Telstra.
Watch him. He's gone down in the tackle. The ball's been knocked back. He'll pick it up. He says, I'm not held. Well, was he held? It's probably worth a look upstairs, but he plays to the whistle.
I think he got to his feet by the time he was touched by Brett Hodgson.
Isn't that funny? You know, like the first 40 minutes of this season, people were ready to give the trophy to the Bulldogs. At halftime of that first Dragons game, they led 28-0, and everyone said, well, who's going to beat the Bulldogs? Well, just about everyone has since.
Sherwin, fumble on the kickoff. And that means they will start the set from only 11 metres out from their own line. Lucy held by Fatawira. Sherwin, Sonny Bill goes through the front door, comes out the back, gets past Hodgson. He's over halfway, links up. He's got Shalosky there. Shalosky passes off the boot of El Masri. Play on the Bulldogs, and the Tigers have come up with a ball. I don't know how, but they're back with it, and here's Richards.
Who was that?
It was Benji Marshall, I think, who got back there for the Tigers.
And then he had the height to get up and pass the ball out the back with a flick pass.
Incredible passage of play.
Was that Benji Marshall? Someone tell him it's not Sunday afternoon down the local park. This is the big time. You don't do that.
Mark O'Neill hammered in a two-man tackle by Shilowski and Bridson. No one has left Telstra here. Look at the Bulldogs fans. Doesn't matter, they're down by 12.
And really struggling to get out of their own end, the Tigers. Someone's got to get a good kick away here.
On the foot.
And the kick from Prince is not deep. Patton fields it 35 metres out from his own line. Chase led by Mark O'Neill. Getting across to make the tackle is Farah. 42 metres out from their own line, the Bulldogs. They come to the right. Sherwin, he only had El Masri on his outside. He comes inside and finds a pretty handy man to pass to. In Nate Miles. Wasn't able to offload that time. Corey Hughes back for Sherwin, on for Miles. 45 metres from the Tigers line.
Clear the ruck.
Premiers trailing by 12. But still believing they can come up with 2 converted tries and force it to extra time. Sonny Bill with another offload. Found his man, that was Alisi. 19 metres away from the West Tigers line. Sherwin. Now it comes for Corey Hughes. Looking to throw the short pass to Miles. He is tackled by Gibbs. Last tackle. This is an enormous play. And Astor steps. He can offload. He does. Sherwin scores. There's another try. It is still game on. 36-28. What about this Sunday afternoon footy?
And Braithen Astor again, the man, the alert man, running the football on the last tackle. The Tigers' defence is getting very, very tired. The referee actually looks to his touch judge to see if that was forward from Anasta to Sherwin. The call was okay.
How did he get it to go backwards? What a miracle pass. What an absolute miracle pass.
Is anyone thinking golden time? Golden point?
I think everyone is now. We're not going home.
El Masri, there's another 2. The kickers have been spot on today. 6 points the difference. The cheer girls, they're getting breathless from dancing. This has been quite unbelievable the last 5-10 minutes.
Well, they've taken advantage, the Bulldogs, of a couple of indiscretions by their opposition. The first one, the penalty early in the tackle count, which saw the Bulldogs come down in a good attacking position. That led to Anasta's try. And on that occasion, they allowed Sonny Bill Williams to go straight up their middle of the ruck. Second tackle out close to the Bulldogs line.
It's been exciting, hasn't it? These 2 young 5'8s. Benji Marshall with some breathtaking football today. And his opposite number, Braithen Astor, has just replied in kind. Some of the young players in this game today are absolutely remarkable. Sonny Bill Williams.
There is 4 minutes remaining. And on cue, he takes the ball. He's lost it! The Tigers have come up with a ball. Hyington, 30 metres out from the Bulldogs line.
You just work it in 4 tackles and you get Scotty Prince to pilot one over. That'll take the wind out of the opposition sails if they're 7 behind.
Payton taken down there by Azatazi. Dummy half is Farah. Marshall on for Mark O'Neill. 20 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Tonga came over the top. Down low was Anasta. Out of dummy half goes Wilson. He'll get it close to the posts. He's 10 metres out. Prince is to the left. He's in position. Here it comes from Prince. He props. He has to run. He cops a shoulder from Ryan. And run he does. 9 metres out. Has lost the ball in the Sherwin tackle. And Astor is with it for the Bulldogs. And there is 3.5 remaining. They are 90 metres from the Tigers line.
If you're going to take 1 point, you do it off the back of the quick play of the ball. It was too slow for Scott Prince.
Brydson, infield as a Tazi. Williams taken low in the tackle of Fulton, not for the first time today. Sherwin, to the right they come. Lalisi, good defence. And a second challenge, says the referee. 35 metres out from the Bulldogs line. Scotty Prince argues the decision with referee Simpkins. Oh boy, there's 2.5 remaining. Bulldogs, 45 metres from the Tigers line. We have seen 11 tries so far. Some of them absolute crackers. Here is Azatazi. 3 on the tackle. It was Wilson, it was Payton, it was Mark O'Neill. 32 from the line, and Asta. Ryan angles back in field. Unloads, Brydson across with Nate Miles. Galea is there with Farah. They're now only 20 metres away, the Bulldogs. They've had a rush of tries. They desperately need another. Anasta, Ryan stands, offloads, Anasta, 10 out, Anasta stretches out for the line. He's got there. Well, what sort of comeback is this? It's an Easter Sunday miracle.
Oh, the resurrection. They were gone. And all the momentum now one way. So you think if we go into Golden Point, which, well, it looks like happening because Hazem El Masri, if you want to kick her under pressure, he's the man. Should even things up here now. And it is most definitely not the Tigers who are finishing strongly.
Oh, give him the trophy. They're back. Give him the trophy.
Here comes the kick. He's got to get it yet. Hazem El Masri, 15 in from touch. He has rushed the setup.
Well, he's thinking they can still kick a field goal and win. There's a minute and a half to go.
21 out, 15 in from touch. El Masri, El Magic, he does it again. It's 36 all. And Braith Anasta has been magnificent. May this game not end. I don't care if we're still here at midnight.
Well, we have got a minute to go. The referee will just about have to call time out here in a moment. Very slowly, yep, there it goes. West Tigers come back. Can the Bulldogs, in 5 tackles, get within field goal range?
Well, Braith Anasta rushed his kick to do it. That's how confident he is. He's got a kick that others would agonise over. He rushed it to give them the last minute of the play to win it in normal time.
Oh, high tackle from Hyington.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
He's let it go.
He says play on. Asatazi over the 30-metre line. He's lost the ball. The Tigers now are in field goal zone. Dummy half is Wilson. He passes for Hodgson. We're inside the final 45 seconds. Tigers, and Hodgson has been pushed down by Anasta.
Good try.
Play on the call. Payton has lost it now and then regathers. It was one-on-one. Tackle count restarts. I'm happy enough with the decision. Farah will play. Dummy half is Hyington. They're not going to wait. Back for Prince. Steady as you go. Steady as you go. He's got it. Scotty Prince has got it. The kid from Mount Isa has added the point, and Marshall will carry him all the way back to Campbelltown if he has to. Scotty Prince, cool head, adds a valuable 1 point. No more valuable kick this year for the Tigers.
The
West Tigers have won it. Quite unbelievable. John Skandalis on screen. It equals the highest losing score in the history of our game. The Hunter Mariners, back in '97, against the Bulldogs, had 36 and went down.